It's about time. It's about time. Don't make me choose by myself. I pray that you'll choose me.
Hey sis,
Say that you'll choose
I'm so excited you're here. Welcome to the first episode of Navigating Life with a Driver. I'm your host, Janessa Driver, but you can look at me as your sis, your auntie, depending on your age. I like to believe that with all the time we'll be spending together, we'll become more like family, so I don't mind being somebody's big sis, little sis, or auntie, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, I'm so excited that you're here. I'm hoping that whatever your why is for tuning in, that you will find that not just starting with this episode, but in our future times together as well. So, yay. Today's episode, first of all, you know what? Before we get started, I just got to give props to my girl, Naomi Rain. Like she really know me, but I feel like she my girl because that girl be writing some music and stuff though. That song you heard is called Choosing Myself Still Alone. Girl, I'll tell you, when I heard that song the first time, oh my goodness, it spoke so much volumes to me. I felt like she personally wrote that song for me. That song has carried me through some really tough times. Even the times where I felt like I wasn't strong enough, that song did something for me. Even though I may not have been able to fully follow through on what that song made me feel, it was enough to keep me going yet another day. So I just wanted to let you guys know what that song was. So if you liked it, you can feel free to look it up yourself again. That was Naomi Rain, Choosing Myself Still Alone. Awesome, empowering song. Anyway, I digress. So this episode is called The Driver and the Journey. The focus of today's episode is really just getting to know me, the why, and where we plan on going on the journey together. Even though this is called Navigating Life with the Driver, I am just basically here to give back tools, words of advice, encouragement, support to help you along the way. If there comes a fork in the road to know which way to go, or maybe you're at a dead end, or maybe you just feel like maybe I need to turn around. I'm not quite sure what direction to go in right now. Well, that's the focus and purpose of Navigating Life with the Driver. Here, the focus is love and relationships. Love for self, love for God, love for others, relationships. Most of the focus is going to be romantic, okay? Because let's face it, ladies, that's a major part of our life, right? And ever since we were little girls, we wanted to have this, about you, this fairy tale wedding, this fairy tale marriage and life, and oh, my Prince Charming, or the white picket fence and the perfect family. But if you live this life as long as I have, then you realize that there's no such thing as a fairy tale, right? Life is not perfect. Relationships are not perfect. Love is not perfect. Matter of fact, I have learned that, as Tina Turner said, what love got to do with it? Love is like, when it comes to relationships, it's the minute corner of what a relationship takes to be successful and healthy and safe. And so these are things, though, that I did not know 12 years ago or beyond that. And I say 12 years ago because I started a new journey in my life 12 years ago. That is when I said I do and became a married woman. At that time, I thought I had life figured out. I was a Christian woman. I was celibate for 7 years. Thank you, Jesus. That's after having 3 kids outside of wedlock, but that's a whole nother story that we'll probably get into one day. But I was like, I'm saving myself. I'm going to get it right. I waited 7 years. Here comes this man along, and then I played hard to get, honestly, when I first met the man, I wasn't even studying him. So when the feelings did start coming, I'm thinking, okay, I'm doing this right, but somehow still, like they say, fools rushed in. But, love at first sight, the feelings was there, feeling great, everything's good, wonderful. Oh, but Lord Jesus, life started lifing and things started happening and masks start coming off and reality set in. And that's when I learned that there were things about myself I did not recognize, things about myself that I had not healed, things about myself that because they were not dealt with, they had influenced my decisions. Even after 7 years of keeping myself, thinking that that's what it was. Oh, girl, you just got to keep yourself. Don't fornicate, And that was the least of my worries. Well, I'm sure God was honored by that, and I was glad, I kept myself, virtue and all that. But I realized that picking a relationship, period, is so much more that goes into that than that love feeling. A lot of things that we're not taught, a lot of things that we're not even, that are not mirrored in the relationships we may see with our own parents growing up, things that are not talked about. And so what we learn most of the time is what from the movies, from books we read, and we think, oh, or even from sitting in the church service, just watching the church sisters and listening to them. Oh, but honey, don't nobody prepare you for the real. Don't nobody tell you about it. And once you get in the thick of it, it's like, what the what? And so, anyway, this podcast, though, is basically, it's just that, these last 12 years, I have learned so much about self, things that I did not like about myself, things that's that messiness, some hard truths where I had to realize that the relationships I was in, not just this marriage, but even the ones before, I had a little something to do with that. You know what I'm saying? Not that I'm victim blaming or even calling myself a victim, but sometimes because we're on the tail end, receiving end of behaviors that we don't like, we do tend to take on that victim mindset and have that woe is me and something's wrong with me, or we begin to, get down on ourselves or feel like I'm just not relationship material. All those things that attack our self-esteem and don't really help. Or we go the opposite way or say, well, nothing wrong with me, something wrong with them. These people, they just need to stay away from me and I need to do this and that. But in reality, there's something called accountability. And while no one has the right to hurt us or hurt you, no one has the right to mistreat, we're all deserving of a healthy love. We have to take a look at self and take accountability for areas that we may have failed to address or even failed to recognize are there. And so in these last 12 years, I've learned something called self-awareness, where I was able to connect things with my younger self from childhood, hurts from childhood, mindsets that were established in childhood, things that I had seen in relationships mimicked from childhood up. All that influenced my decision making when it came to my relationship picking. Somehow I just tend to pick people that, the packages look very different, so of course I would think, oh, this is different, they came shiny with a gold bow on them, or that one came with multicolors and a red bow. Oh, well, this one came packaged like this and it got a cross on it. I know that one got bound to be good. Not realizing that after I opened all these packages, they all had something in common, And it's like, how do I keep winding up in these type of relationships that seem to hurt more than heal, than feel safe? And I don't know. This 12 years, like I said, have showed me some things about myself that I needed to change. I needed to change. I needed to work on. I needed to strengthen. I needed to get rid of. I needed to become bold and courageous when in those areas. And becoming self-aware doesn't mean that you have to forego a relationship you're in. I'm not here to tell you, girl, look, if XYZZZ going on, then you need to pack your bags, you need to get up, or you need to tell her to bounce. I'm not here to do that. Now, what I will say, if there is some physical abuse in there, you got to go. You need to go. But I also do understand that it's easier said than done. I used to be a domestic violence and foreign parenting support worker, so I'm not here to pass judgment on anyone. And if you're listening in and you're experiencing physical abuse, sis, I'm here to support for you. And I know some of the education and some of the advice I'll be sharing will be helpful to you, even in the messy middle of what you may be in. There's no judgment here. I understand. I know the statistics that were, you know what I'm trying to say, right? Anywho, I know it all, okay, when it comes to that area. And I'm not here to judge, but I am here to say what needs to be said. If it's safe and you're able and you have the support, if you're going through physical abuse, There's no ifs, ands, or buts trying to figure out if this is healthy for me. Does this man really love me? No, no one deserves to have someone put their hands on them. So I will tell you, get up, get out if you can. Okay. Now on the other things, I can't I can't tell you that. Okay. But I'm hoping that with the experiences I share, with the education I give, um, whatever comes, that it will help you make informed decisions when it comes to the journey from here on out. Because only you know if you should stay, if you should go. Only you know if you should even start. This podcast isn't just for women that are in the messy middle right now that are trying to figure things out, but this is for the woman that may be looking for love, that may already have found her true love, right? And you're getting ready to walk down that road of considering marriage and all those things. What is it should you actually be looking for? Is love enough? Or what's important? What do you need to talk about? What do you need to look for? Do you know what red flags are? If you would have asked me 12 years ago what a red flag was, I would have looked at you crazy because I had never heard of that terminology. All I know is I love this person, and I still to this day. Let me say I still do love this person, but I have, like I said, learned some things that have opened my eyes, that have caused me to become strengthened in a little bit more areas, especially decision making and loving self more than loving others. Because I had issues with people pleasing. I had issues with setting boundaries, um, codependency, anxious attachment, self doubt, all those things. And I couldn't understand, like, why do I feel anxious? Why am I afraid to stand up for myself? Why am I afraid to stand up for my loved ones? Why do I keep letting these things happen? Why do I keep attracting what hurts versus, the good stuff? And like I said, just these 12 years have been a lesson, have not been easy, but they've been a lesson. And why I don't have it all figured out, Lord, no, I don't have it all figured out. I'm still muddling through. I'm still on a journey of my own. I thought, if someone would have came to me 12 years ago and said, Nessa, let me sit you down, girl. Let's have some real talk. Let's talk. And they would have schooled me on some of the things that it took me 12 years to learn. I know that even though I love my husband, some of those things that I learned in these 12 years would have made me say, "Hope, wait a minute. Let's do this first. Let's take a look at this." Before I was like, "Yeah, I'm all in. Let's do this." And so if I can be that person for you that's starting off, that's thinking about starting off and saying, "Hey, listen, let's talk. Have you done this? Have you healed? Have you considered? What if this happens? All that kind of stuff." So that's what this is about. I'm here, like I said, to be that auntie or that little sis or that big sis to some, or just if you want to say mentor, whatever. I'm here to be that for you, and not just for you, but for me too, because we're on this journey together, right? I want us to be able to grow, glow, and let go together, okay? And whatever that let go is, maybe let go of toxic thinking, let go of low self esteem, let go of not trusting yourself, whatever. And if it is that relationship, because you determine from what you see and hear that this is not healthy, this is not real love, this is toxic, this is a trauma bond or whatever it is, let's let go together. Let's do this together, okay? So I encourage you, as I get ready to end this episode of The Driver and the Journey, I would like for you to go into the comments and I want you to tell me where you are in life right now. Are you married, or are you in a long-term relationship, or are you someone that has just fallen in love and you're considering marriage? Or are you someone single that's looking for love but really don't have anyone on the spectrum? I like to see where my audience is at this point, just to kind of gauge where we are. And like I said, this podcast is going to be for every last one of you ladies. This is a no judgment zone. I'm not here to say, girl, you should know better, or not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to just basically offer some help, guidance, and insight. Okay. So that's it, lovely ladies. I hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you hopefully next week. We're going to try to do these podcasts weekly. Just like and subscribe so you'll get that notification of when the next episode is uploaded. Until then, be blessed. Okay. Let's heal together. Let's learn to live fully in God. Okay. God bless.